Welcome into another episode of Action Talk. I'm your host, Mark Saavedra, and I'm joined by my co-host, Thomas Shafer. Like I said last week, the beard is finally gone. Thomas, it's December. I've got the green on. You got your Baby Yoda Santa hat on. Life's good, right?
Yeah, and life was good for us last week. You went 11-4 against the spread. I went 3-1 on the podcast. Both of our best bets hit, and your underdog hit. So we've had a good last couple days.
Oh, yeah, man. And you dominated Monday night. I appreciate the glory, but you went 4-0 on Monday night. So be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We give our consensus plays, and if we disagree, we give you, what I think, what Thomas thinks, and then you can make your choice from there. But enough about, us being so good and dwelling in the past and whatnot. Let's look ahead to this beautiful slate of games we got, and let's start with your team, the Minnesota Vikings, going down to Tampa Bay to face Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And the Vikings are 6.5-point underdogs. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, I'm going to stay away from this spread. Every time I've thought that the Vikings were going to win, they've lost. And every time I thought that they were going to win or they've lost, they won. So I have no good feeling about this team, and it sucks. That's my team. But I really like the over in this game, and I called the total last week, and I think that this is going to be a shootout, and I think 51.5 points is enough for the over to hit. I don't think people realize how good the Vikings offense has been the last couple of weeks. Kirk Cousins has had 3 straight weekends of having 300 more yards passing and 3+ touchdowns. That's insane, and this Vikings offense is firing on all cylinders. Their defense just is terrible, and they haven't been able to stop Andy Dalton, Mike Lennon. So how are they going to stop Tom Brady in the plethora of weapons that Bucs offense has? So I really like the total to go over in this one.
I agree with you. And honestly, I don't know what it is about totals moving and me wanting to fade where they're moving. But this opened at 52.5. It's down now to 51.5. And if it keeps going down, I'm just going to probably bet it every day, just 52.5, 51.5, 15, whatever they give me, man. I'm just going to keep taking it because I love that. But my pick here is going to be Vikings plus 6.5. I think Vikings are going to keep it close. I think, man, I bet on the Vikings money line. I do think they have a chance here. Brady has had multiple touchdowns in his past 3 games. He hasn't had 4 straight games with multiple touchdown passes since 2016. I know he's got a plethora of weapons, but we've seen some stinkers from Brady this season. I keep saying stinker on the podcast. I got that from you and I hate it. But Brady's, he's due to have a bad game. And like you were talking about, Cousins has been hot lately. 15 touchdown passes over the past 6 weeks. They're looking really good. That's the second most in the NFL. And Dalvin Cook leads the NFL with multi-touchdown games. He's had 4 of them this season. So I really like that over. I really like Vikings plus 6.5. I think this is going to be a shootout, like you said, and I think the Vikings can keep it close. The defense is suspect, but you guys have matured a little bit and have gotten better. So I'm going to trust that you guys can keep it close.
The reason why I don't want to take the points of the Vikings is the Bucs have the number 1 rush defense, and that's what we do really well with Dalvin Cook. And even though Dalvin Cook had a really bad yards per attempt last week, it's all been Kirk Cousins the last couple of weeks. So I think that, like I said, that they're going to be able to keep up with the Bucs, and it's going to turn into a shootout, in my opinion. So, yeah, if I had to lean, I would go with you too.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you think your team's going to at least cover, but that's fine. You can stay away. I'll enjoy the Vikings plus 6.5 and that money line a little bit. Hopefully they win, but let's move on. We've got a great matchup, in my opinion. This is I picked the games this week, by the way. I've been complaining to Thomas, saying you pick the games every single week. I never get to pick them. So if you like to slate the games this week, you're welcome. I think I did some good choosing, but love this game when I first saw it open up. Colts going to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. Colts opened up at 2.5. Now they're at 3. Thomas, how you feeling about this one?
So a couple of weeks ago, I said that, the Raiders have really been a surprise team, in my opinion, this year for me, because I didn't think that they were going to have a winning record to this point. But now I'm starting to kind of think that they're frauds. They got blown out 2 weeks ago by the Falcons, and then they needed in my opinion, that game was fixed against the Jets, that they left that guy Marcus May out. Wasn't it Marcus May out on an island by himself when a 12-year-old kid playing Madden knows how to play a prevent defense? So I think that the fix was in on that game, and they just let the Jets win. So I don't think that that's very impressive if, they just let the Jets or let the Raiders win that game. So them playing the Colts, I don't think any miracles are going to happen this week for the Raiders, and I think the Colts are going to take care of business and cover and continue to make that playoff push that they've been doing all season.
We've been saying it since our first episode. We hate betting on Phillip Rivers, but you know what? At the end of the day, even with his noodle arm, this is just a much better football team. They play good, tough football, and they take care of the bad teams. So I think they're going to take care – let me not say take care of the bad teams. They take care of the, not so elite teams, because I don't want to call the Raiders a bad team. Let me correct myself. But I think they'll take care of the Raiders. Also, it's not looking like they're going to have Jonathan Abram or Josh Jacobs, so neither one of those guys, no chance. So, like I said, love the Colts at -2.5. Still like the -3. Taking that small spread, even though I always say to avoid that, but I think they're going to definitely take care of business. The Colts have won 3 straight road games, so I'm not scared of like Las Vegas and the Death Star and all that nonsense. Like Gruden, I was buying into it early, but like you said, I'm starting to think these guys are kind of frauds. So I'm rolling with the Colts spread here.
And also, I had the Jets as my favorite underdog last week. So up until 5 seconds left in the game, I was counting my money because I had that parlayed with the Patriots, and that was going to be a nice payout. And they just, Greg Williams or whoever got the call down on the field and said, hey, let them score. What are you doing? We went Trevor Lawrence. That just ruined my best bet, or not my best bet, my favorite underdog. So, yeah, I'm not high on the Raiders this week. Exactly what you said. No Josh Jacobs, no Abrams. It's going to be rough for them to keep up with the Colts and Phillip Rivers.
And on that, I mean, they're missing one of their better defensive players, and they allowed 206 yards on the ground to the Jets. So Colts have a pretty consistent, not good, but a consistent rushing attack. They will continue to run the ball and pound it and continue, whether they're getting 2 yards, 3 yards, or 5 yards. They're just going to continue to pound it. So eventually this defense will get exposed and crack, and, yeah, roll with that -3. But enough of that. I'm done talking about the Raiders. It's time to move on to my team. And we are playing on Sunday Night Football. There's nothing better than Steelers on Sunday night. And I am so excited that we are playing the Bills, a team that I've been saying time and time again every week on the podcast. This is a fake tough guy. They're phonies. They're frauds. They don't like the Bills. And guess what, Thomas? I'm giving you my pick. I'm not going to ask how you feel. I'm rolling with the +125. We lose one game, and now what? We're just going to lose out? Get the out of here. I'm rolling with the money line. Slam that. Thomas, how do you feel?
Well, I forgot to respond to you saying that, I pick the games every week. Actually, I don't pick just the games that I like, and that's why I have an advantage of you over the podcast on. And it's only a couple game difference on our picks, but I don't do that. I pick the best games of the week, and even when you pick these games, you try to tell me before the podcast that I picked these games when you came over and picked these games for me. So let's get the record straight here. Now.
Okay, yeah. Now tell me how you feel about the damn game. Enough of our.
Okay. So I have to go with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I'm really liking them right now. They've been having a really good season. And if it wasn't for that Hopkins, touchdown, like I said last week, that they would be in position to be leading the AFC, obviously, depending on what happens in this game. But what I've come to realize is the Steelers really haven't beat many good football teams this year. I know early in the season, you were giving me crap about Josh Allen. Josh Allen hasn't beaten anybody. Who have they played? Well, who have the Steelers beaten? They've beaten 3 teams with winning records. And the Ravens with RG3, a guy that every time he drops back, he tears his hamstring and gets injured. And so I don't know how you can, say previously, Josh Allen didn't play anybody. And I remember who they actually played in the beginning of the season. It was the Miami Dolphins, and they're making that playoff push right now. So I got to go with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I like how they're really coming together in this offense. And, hey, the Steelers are fourth worst in the NFL in rushing the football. You're not going to win many games in January, in late December, running the ball that poorly.
You're absolutely right. But we do get James Conner back this week. And through the first 5 games of the season, we were averaging 136 yards per game on the ground. Now it's dwindled down to 61. So I do think that with James Conner back, with everyone starting to realize with our primetime games and whatnot, not everyone, all eyes are on, oh, wow, the Steelers are throwing 50 times. And Ben's had back-to-back weeks throwing 50 plus. So I think this is going to be a game where they might scale back on that. And then I can almost assure you, I can almost guarantee you that Ben's not going to throw it 50 times. I think we're going to get the running game going. We're going to have James Conner. We're going to be able to use Snell out of the backfield. And, I think that this is going to be a time where we use our stable of backs when they're all healthy and available. Maybe mix McFarland in there. Maybe he sees the end zone. But, yeah, I really like the Steelers here. And let me just tell you this, Thomas. The last time that the Buffalo Bills beat the Steelers in Buffalo was October 10th, 1999. And the Bills just got their first Monday Night Football win in over 20 years. I don't know if they have all this oomph and spectacular, historic, all these historic moments in them. So, fade the Bills here, man. Sorry.
You've been saying the whole year, Josh Allen, fake tough guy, not an MVP candidate. He is an MVP candidate after that Monday night game. In my opinion, his stats aren't that – there's not that big of a difference between him and Mahomes. Yeah, a couple touchdowns. The Chiefs have way better weapons than the Buffalo Bills. So I really like Josh Allen. I think you need to respect that man, and maybe you'll respect him after he takes down your team. But maybe you'll be a little butthurt about that. I don't know. I hope maybe you get some respect to him after he takes it to you guys.
He's not going to take it to us. I know we're going to win the game. It's going to be a close game, but we're going to win probably in the 4 to 6 point range. Anyway, free bet there if you want to take Steelers minus 3.5 alternate line. I do respect Josh Allen. He is having a very good season, but we are just a much better football team. Whether our schedule's cake, whether our schedule's hard, we play up and we play down to competition. So playing a good team like this in Buffalo on Sunday night, I think we're going to bring it. Like I said, I think we're going to use the running back. The Steelers play well in prime time. We're going to bring it. I think we're going to use more of the running backs because Ben does tend to struggle on the road. And like I said, we've thrown 50 plus the past 2 weeks. So I think we're going to be able to control the tempo, keep this one low scoring. Steelers control the game and win the game because our defense is too damn good. If we're controlling the tempo, forget about it. The defense is going to lock it down.
You want to play down to your competition. You say we played down to our competition when you're trying to say that the Steelers are good. I honestly hope you guys have a good defensive game. Maybe I hope Josh Allen throws a pick six because I have you guys in fantasy and I have to start you guys. I can't not start the best defense in the NFL, in my opinion, even if they're going against a pretty good offense. But I don't know, man.
I wasn't saying they play down in a good way. I said they play up and they play down. Like, we'll get up and we'll play good teams and we'll play them well. But when we play bad teams, we'll beat them by like 4 points. And it's like, what is going on? That's why we've looked like such a fraudulent 11-0 team. And obviously, it showed against an elite defense, and we struggled. And you heard the whole game on the broadcast. Oh, there's going to be an interception. One of these drops is going to turn into an interception. Well, it wasn't a drop. It ended up being a batted ball at the end. We're not getting that this week. Steelers are going to cruise to a victory. We're going to control the game, control the tempo, and now we're moving on to a great AFC North battle. We've got on Monday night. We've got the Baltimore Ravens going to Cleveland as 1-point favorites here. What are you thinking on this one, Thomas?
So I think a lot of people are overhyping that Browns win against the Titans. They got out to this crazy lead, then they didn't even know how to finish the game. That was kind of embarrassing, in my opinion, how they were absolutely crushing Tennessee, and then they just didn't know what to do when they were up by that many points. But I like the Ravens in this game. They absolutely manhandled the Browns in the first game of the season. I know that was so many weeks ago, but they beat them by 30 points. I really like what I see from the Ravens defense. They took it to you guys 2 weeks ago with their JV lineup. Maybe even it was a freshman club. They played really tough against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I just kind of like that momentum of hey, we're missing all these guys. We don't have practice, but we still got up and we still competed in that game with RG3 and Trace McSorley, guys that probably shouldn't even be in the NFL. And they were they lost by 5 points in the game. And they were in the game for 55 minutes of the game. So I really like Lamar Jackson to get back on track. You know, he's not going to throw for 300 yards, but he might run for 70 and throw for 220, and they win this game.
Well, you better hope, and the Ravens better hope, because if not, they'll be the 9th team in the Super Bowl era to have a 14-plus win season and then not make the playoffs the following year. So if they do that, that'll be incredibly embarrassing. I can't even imagine where fingers are going to start to be pointed. But I told you before we started recording, I like the Browns. That pick is subject to change. It didn't change. I still like the Browns. I just think that, I mean, yes, the Ravens do have a very good running attack and they have a good defense, but, man, Myles Garrett is one hell of a man. I mean, I don't know if Lamar's going to be able to do all these spectacular things with him coming off the edge. I think he'll be able to do a good job of containing him, at least on one side, obviously. And I think he'll be able to pressure Lamar. And Lamar does not throw the ball well when he's pressured. I don't know, man. I really like this Browns team. I love their running back combo, obviously, like everyone else in the league does. Got to go with the Browns money line. They're even money right now, so I'm going to grab them at even money.
I love it because I know that you have been saying, oh, Baker Mayfield sucks, and now you're betting on the Browns. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I mean, what do you want me to do, man? You want me to bet on the Ravens? I mean, it's the divisional game. I got to choose one of the teams I hate. But, yeah, I think at the end of the day, Baker Mayfield is a better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson, and he has better running backs. So Lamar on the defensive side, but if Baker's defense plays well, Lamar is very capable of having multiple interceptions. And like you said, he's not going for 300 yards. He's not doing anything crazy. And I don't know if he's going to be able to run it because this is a pretty good pass rush. So
and you know I love Myles Garrett. I picked him for comeback player of the year, but you know Dwayne Haskins sucks, and Alex Smith pretty much locked that up by just walking on the field, and now they're actually in playoff contention. Anyways, I don't like that defense on the Browns. They're like not even middle of the pack on total offense or total defense. They're kind of way down there, giving up a lot of yards. I love Myles Garrett. Don't like it across the board. The Ravens have the number 3 scoring defense. So I think that they're going to be able to shut down the run game enough and force Baker to have to win the game. And I like Baker. I don't know if he's going to have another magical game like he did against the Titans last week against this elite defense, because as much as this losing streak or whatever you want to call it, you know, they lost 4 of their 5 last games, whatever it was, their defense is still elite and they still can get after the quarterback, stop the run, and pick the ball off. So I got to go with the defense.
All right. That's fair, man. I mean, we got to disagree. Like we said, we don't like that kumbaya stuff. So that's that. Time to try and keep the game rolling, right? Best bets cash last week. So I'll take it from here, Thomas. My best bet is going to be Colts -3. No, we spoke about it. Same thing last week, but hey, Rams money line hit. I'm really liking that Colts -3. I just think it's too low of a number for a much better all-around football team. So best bet, Colts -3. Lock it in. Thomas, what do you got for us?
So I like the Falcons to cover this 2.5-point spread. The Chargers got absolutely embarrassed. Anthony Lynn embarrassed. Justin Herbert embarrassed. The whole organization got embarrassed by the New England Patriots. Like I said, because that was my best bet last week, the Chargers have 3 wins this season against the Jets, the Jags, and the Bengals. The 3 worst teams in the NFL. So what does that mean that the Chargers are? The 4th worst team in the NFL. So how in the world can you bet on this team? You can't. They're going to lose. Falcons cover. They've been playing pretty good football, and we're locking that in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I told you before the pod, it's funny. I was between Falcons or Colts for my 2 best bets. Similar spreads going against just worse all-around football teams than they are. So I love your bet. I'm going to parlay those 2, lock them in. And my favorite underdog this week, sorry, I got to stick to the game we already spoke about, but how the hell can you not take that +125 with the Steelers, baby? Come on. I'm slamming that. Not putting a paycheck on that, but I am going to put a hefty amount on that. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that Sunday night game. So I am slamming that Steelers money line, plus 125.
So my favorite underdog, I'm done betting on the Jets. They're just not going to win, even though those odds are juicy every week. I got to go with I almost said the wrong team. I almost said their old team, but the Washington football team. I have to roll with Alex Smith. He's going to go get his revenge on the 49ers. I know they're not playing in San Francisco, and they're not. They don't have the same coach. The organization's changed a little bit, but he's returning to play against his old team. They're on a nice win streak. This defense is great. They have first-round picks all across the front four. It is phenomenal defense. And Nick Mullins going up against these guys, he's had a bad last couple weeks. Even if Garoppolo somehow miraculously comes back and plays in this game, they're not going to win this game. It's the Washington football team. I almost said it again, but Washington football team, Washington football team.
There you go. Good job. I'm very proud of you. I'm now going to let you guys – I'm sorry, not let you guys. I'm going to give you guys the nice 16 6-point teaser like I do every week. It pains me. For some reason, I'm rolling with the Jets, but I think something's wrong with Russell Wilson. Thomas and I have spoken about that off air. It seems like he's not 100%. So Jets plus 13.5, teasing that up to 19.5. Steelers, football team, Chiefs, Jags, Vikings. Tease them up, tease them down, do all of it. 6 points, plus 600. Let's get this money.
We really like Colts to cover against the Raiders, -3. Falcons are my best bet, so I got to have them in my parlay, of course, -2.5. And then I really like the over in the Viking game, 51.5. I called their over-under last week. Barely hit, but it hit, and that's all that matters. 51.5. Get it before it starts moving up. This pays out $59 on a $10 bet.
And there you have it, guys. Don't miss out. Be sure, you guys got to turn on these notifications. Like and subscribe. Avoid the bad beats. Like we said a couple weeks ago, we told you to take Seahawks -5.5. They ended up just winning by 6. A lot of people lost that bet because they went up 6.5. Get on these things. Turn on your push notifications. And be sure, like I said, to follow us on Instagram and Twitter for our daily plays at Action Talk Bets. And thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Action Talk.